Yes, sir. We're officially back at it. This is Boog Nice coming at you with the Marvel Legends Lizard Build-A-Figure Wave Spider-Woman figure review. Let's do it.
This ain't for no scalper. You a scalper? Then fuck out shit. This one's for them real collectors. That's army building and posing figures. Marvel Legends, imports, mini matey, I'm fucking with them. Hype beast, we know about you. Stay buying figs, don't know about you.
Alright, taking a look at Jessica Drew, aka Spider-Woman, out of the package. And this is an interesting design for this figure. It's an interesting concept. I know that the concept behind her new costume, she had like a relaunch in 2015, and apparently she had become a private investigator, and at the same time her juggling that and her superhero life, she was pregnant. And I think they dropped the ball big time on this figure, because they could have really had some fun with this and included some type of feature to show her with her pregnant belly. Let me show you a picture of that real quick. And I think that would have been dope if they figured out how to do that. But she comes with nothing, no accessories. I mean, aside from her shades, which I believe can be removed, because I took her straight out of the package and started the review, and the shades were kind of off her nose a little bit, and I put them back on. So as I move through this, I'm going to see if they can be removed. I do believe they can be, but she doesn't have any interchangeable hands, no webbing, no nothing. And I don't know if they even picked the right buck for her, because if I'm not mistaken, the previous Spider-Woman that we got from Hasbro was a little more voluptuous, was a little more healthy looking, and they picked a smaller buck for this particular version. So yeah, I was right. There you go. That's her one accessory, is the glasses. You can remove them. That is a nice touch. I do like that. Maybe you can put a little paint on these and turn them into some dark shades and use them for another female or another male with a small head. But I do think they did a great job on her head sculpt. I don't know if it really looks like Jessica Drew from the comics, but it looks good, and it looks different from some of the things that they've been doing, because they like to recycle, reuse a lot of head sculpts for the females and the males. But something looks a little different about this, and I do like it. I do appreciate it. I do think that looks nice. And yes, the head can pop off with no issue, so there's that. Just taking a closer look at her deco, I do like this costume design, but I'm a fan of the original Spider-Woman design. Shout out to my man JC. I know Spider-Woman, that's his girl. That's one of his favorite characters. JC is the person who does the intro on all my short videos, or all my review videos. I'll play JC's intro, and on my videos, like main course and longer videos, I'll play my own intro. But I'll put the link to his information and where you can find his music and stuff in the description below, because a lot of people have been asking me about that. All right, that was a quick sidebar. But yeah, this deco looks cool. I do like the design of this costume. It's pretty cool. You can see the spider emblem there on the front of her shirt. I guess this is like a compression outfit or something like that. She looked like she's about to go jogging. She looked like a regular Caucasian lady that be out jogging in Central Park. But yeah, it's cool. And you can see these are like gloves. They're supposed to be open here. Yeah, go ahead. Turn the water on while I'm recording. There's my girl turning the water on while I'm recording. But yeah, these are supposed to be gloves that's showing just a little bit of her flesh on the back of her hand there. And like I said, pretty cool. Nothing to write home about, but it is a cool design. And in terms of articulation, shoulders are on a ball joint. They're going to come up just that far. You saw the head was on a ball joint. That's going to look down that far. Not going to look up too far because it's hindered by her hair. You'll get a full 360 on the shoulder. No upper bicep swivel. You know how I feel about that with the female figures. You get a single jointed elbow that can actually rotate, swivel and a hinge on the wrist. A little bit of upper torso articulation. It'll move back and forth. Nothing at the waist. You know how I feel about that. No ab crunch, and you know how I feel about that. T-joint at the pelvis. Legs are going to come up that far. Split's going to look like that. You do get an upper thigh swivel. I'm just breaking that in. Double jointed knee. Nothing at the top of the boot here or at the shin. You do get a hinge and a pivot on the foot. And that's pretty much it. I mean, you definitely want more articulation on Spider-Woman. She is agile. She's running and jumping, and she has superhuman strength and speed and reflexes, and she can use pheromones to entice people and make them do stuff. And she's got a great power set, and it's not really represented here with this articulation. And a few quick size comparisons. You have her wave mate, Spider-Man Noir, on the left. And you've got Spider-Man, Pizza Parker, or Pizza Spider-Man on the right. And you know, I mentioned in the Spider-Man Noir review that you had 2 members of Spider-Verse in this wave, but I guess Spider-Woman was part of that crew as well. Correct me if I'm wrong. She just wasn't in this costume. She was in her classic costume, I believe. And there she is in the classic costume on the right, and you can see what I was referring to earlier in the review about them picking a smaller buck for this version of Spider-Woman. You would think that after a baby, she would, you know, maybe put on a couple of more pounds and get a little more booty and breasts, but it looks like the original version is the very voluptuous version of Spider-Woman. That's the one that I think people prefer. I mean, I think that version looks great. I think it's a great representation of how she's been drawn in the comic books. I don't know why they would pick a smaller buck for this particular one. You can see she is closer in size to Silk on the left there, and I don't know if it's the same exact buck. I can't really tell right now, but yeah, I think they should have definitely put her on the bigger buck on the right. But just like this Spider-Woman, the original Spider-Woman was missing interchangeable hands. That's what they should have given us with that figure, and they didn't give us pretty much anything with this one. And a blast from the past here. This is the old Toy Biz Spider-Woman, one of the worst figures ever. So this is what we was dealing with back in the Toy Biz days. And again, I always talk about this. I know it's a lot of people that love to hold on to the Toy Biz days, but they put out some awful figures. They did put out some really bad figures. Look at the proportions on her. Look at how terrible that figure looks. And, you know, they stepped it up. Hasbro stepped it up with the one on the far right. And now this most recent version of her here. But yeah, oh man, this figure's terrible. And you know what was really bad about this? They still hadn't figured out how to do the little weapon under the arm. And every single version, this particular figure that I had, it ripped. The weapon ripped. It was just awful, man. The proportions on this figure are just really bad. And then there's a closer look at these two side by side. And that's pretty much it for Spider-Woman. Pretty underwhelming figure from the wave. I mean, she could have been awesome with just some interchangeable hands and some more articulation. And like I said, maybe if they gave us that sort of belly feature, that would have been something very brand new and fresh and just a cool, funny idea. I don't know if it would have been something that parents would have liked to see in the toy aisles, though. I don't know how that would have translated, but I think it would have been adventurous. It would have been ambitious for them to do something like that. But yeah, like I said, not anything to write home about. But if you want to complete the Lizard Builder figure, you definitely have to pick her up. So that's pretty much it. As always, rate, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, peace.
That's crispy.